I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and yes, you've probably already seen the HTC One X, but perhaps you're thinking, man, it's a little bit too big for me, or I don't like the form factor where there are 3 One devices, and I've got another one in the house right now. This is the HTC One S, and it's coming to T-Mobile at some point soon in the United States. This is the global version, and it packs a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 processor, a 4.3-inch Super AMOLED display, an 8-megapixel camera with 1080p HD video recording, and Android 4.0 with HTC Sense. It follows the same design schemes as the One X, but is in a little bit smaller package, and is coming obviously to T-Mobile instead of AT&T in the States. Is this the device for you, or perhaps you like the HTC One X? We'll find out and do a little bit more digging in the full review, but first, some love to Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with phones just like this for use in our One Paw Bandit game that we give to you on the site. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your web, your contacts, your camera settings, your phone app, and more. So when you walk out the door, you're good to go at Best Buy Mobile. Let's take a look. HTC One S. You know, despite different form factors, some different processor speeds, things like that, you do get some similar features, and one of those is in the camera. This thing has an 8-megapixel camera with 1080p HD video recording, and I'll bring over something like a, let's say a pen. I know I hate to use a pen, but that's all I have nearby. So we'll bring this over, for example. One of my favorite features that we originally saw in the One X and is available on this one as well is the burst shutter mode. So we can come in here and take a look, first of all, at settings. I can come over here and change the settings up and down. No real changes here. This looks kind of similar to previous versions of HTC Sense. Get the ability to turn the flash on and off, and the ability to do some different camera scenes. Now what I really like though, and of course you have the ability to switch to your video camera pretty quickly. What I like though is, let's say you're at a soccer game, perhaps your son's soccer game, your daughter's soccer game, or perhaps your brother, sister's soccer game, whatever, and you're taking pictures with your HTC One device. So I can come in here and it's a quick moving game. She's tossing the ball and then all of a sudden you see something you want to take a picture of. All you have to do is do this. Quick burst mode, and then when you let go, it's going to bring up a series of pictures. Now you can choose the best shot that you like the most. So we'll come in here and say that's just the best shot, whatever. Do you want to delete the rest of the images? No. So then I can come back in here and take a look at the images, and I can go back through and see, obviously a pen's not nearly as exciting, but I can come through, there's the best one. Let's see where the other ones went. Maybe I accidentally deleted those. If I did, I apologize. Let's see. There should be some more. There we go, continuous shots. So I can come in here and take a look at all the different shots that I took during that particular instance. And then over here, of course, I have some sample shots I took. It's really a great camera. That's one area where they've made some huge improvements in this device and on the One X as well. Great camera. You can see I took this Panera. See, that's pretty nice. Even focused in. Pretty good image there. And I can go back and take a look at the tea, nasty apple that I ate, salad that I ate, and of course some plants here as well. And I was trying to get a shot of, there's a waterfall right behind this, the Panera on 3rd Street uptown. But you can see, I mean, pretty decent picture quality on this device. And then of course 1080p HD video recording as well. So you can shoot pretty high quality HD movies also. And then of course you can come into the gallery and take a look. You've got some new settings here. You can go back to the camera, share, delete, edit, and more. And of course you'll see this ice cream sandwich file form factor here, as opposed to gingerbread and previous versions of HTC Sense. So again, everything moves relatively quickly here. Let's take a look at quadrant standard, because the quadrant standard score on the One X was about 4,920 if I remember right, and that was with that Tegra 3 quad-core processor. Let's see what it's like over here. And of course these are optimized now for dual-core processors. We'll take a look. And while we're talking about that, I'll tell you about call quality. It's been very decent on the One X. I took this to Dead Spot over the weekend for AT&T. Had no problems receiving the call and making the call, though it was choppy and cut in and out from time to time. I've been really pleased with the earpiece. It's nice and loud, and I'm pretty big stickler about that, because I don't know if I'm hard of hearing or it's just I use so many phones. It's like I can notice immediately when an earpiece isn't as loud as it should be, and it's been very good on the HTC One S. And of course the speakerphone's been nice and loud as well. You get your speakerphone back here. And battery life has been surprisingly okay. It's not the best in the world. It's a 1,650 milliamp hour battery with moderate use, texting, emailing, calling, doing some downloads. I was able to make it just barely through the day. I made it to about 9:15 after pulling it off the charger at about 9 o'clock in the morning. It's about 12 hours before the device required a charge. Now one thing I will say, it was on edge on AT&T. I was not using Wi-Fi. It was on edge. So keep that in mind. Obviously 3G is a little bit more of a power drain. HSPA Plus is a little bit more of a power drain. So keep that in mind if you're looking at this device and perhaps T-Mobile, because I'm sure the battery results will be a little bit different. We'll be sure to test those when we get the HTC One S, the T-Mobile version, in as well. Surprisingly, this one actually somehow came in higher than the HTC One S. Take these with a grain of salt because they're not always indicative of day-to-day performance, but 5030 over here on this bad boy. 5030, huge, big improvements over what we've seen on past Android devices. So, you know, this series has the possibility and the potential of being an industry leader, at least in terms of speeds. That's pretty impressive there. Let's take a look at speed tests, of course. Actually, let's skip speed tests because we're running on Edge with AT&T. We'll do speed tests when we get the HSPA Plus version in. For T-Mobile. So just to go through here, let me make sure I've deleted all these calls. I want to show you some of the new things here in HTC Sense 4. Obviously, you'll see some color scheme changes. I can come in here to menu and take a look at some of the call menu settings, and then I've got my typical tabs down here with call history, groups, and then of course my contacts. But the buttons here are different. They're black. Same ability to remove the keypad, same ability to activate voice dialing, but then these are a little bit different. So we'll go into contacts, and we'll add a new one, for example, just to show you what it looks like. A little bit different here. Names up here, and you've got some shortcuts for edit, for camera, and for menu. I'm assuming for the camera to take a caller ID picture, and then of course the new HTC keyboard. But just some differences here in the buttons. You'll notice that if you're a diehard HTC Sense fan, you're going to immediately notice the changes here. We can make it a Google contact, we can make it a SIM card contact or a phone contact, and then I can add more information down through here. So I can add notes as well. Let's go to, you know, notes, Big Papa. And then we'll go over here to, let's call him John Rogers. John Rogers. And we're going to make him a member of any group. We're going to make him a Google contact. We're going to name him, or give him the number 555-111-6431. And then, of course, we can save when we're done. And then here's the contact. No, HTC does a great job when it comes to personal information management, though you'll notice here the interface, very similar to stock ice cream sandwich with the long picture here at the top. You've got the Google integration, the menu up top, and of course the mobile and the ability to text, some notes and more. And obviously if you had the address, all that information would be listed here along with the caller ID. This is what's cool. The thread is here. You can see messages, email, call history. You can see any updates with that person, and you can see gallery where that person may be tagged in pictures. So again, HTC continues to do a great job in Sense 4 with personal information management. They've really improved on that front, even more so than previous versions, Sense 3, Sense 3.5, and even Sense 3.6. So nice improvements there. The Play Store is obviously installed in this device. Android market is now called Google Play. You still get the same apps, music, books, and movies in the store. And you can, of course, download movies, rent those, download books, music, and apps. I don't really show you play a book, but it's there, and of course the transition effects are nice and fast. No real changes to the actual interface. So if you're familiar with the most recent version of the Android market prior to it changing over, no real differences here. You can see top paid, top free. Going to draw something, for example, same ability to install and take a look at screenshots, rate and review, see what's new, description, reviews, and then more by that person or more by that developer, and then what else others also viewed. So some no real changes, like I said there, though they are calling it the Play Store, and you'll see that the icons all across the board have updated here. The Play Store icon obviously up there, and then you've got the Play Store icon down here also. So One X, pretty impressive device here. I've been really pleased with it. Let me go through here and show you one more thing. Let me make sure I can find it. Go back through and take a look. Now HTC Hub is actually changing. This is something I wanted to point out. HTC Hub is here. They're going through some changes right now, but HTC Hub is pre-installed on this, and through HTC Hub you can continue along the lines of personalization that we've seen on past versions of HTC Sense. You can change the skin, you can change the wallpaper, the lock screen style. Unfortunately, through HTC Hub you can download new wallpapers, new skins, new ringtones, and more to really make the device your own. So I can come in here and take a look at the skins, for example. I can go to let's say, how about aluminum? Change the skin around. I can apply that. So, they do a great job with personalization. It's all about making the device fit you. And HTC's personalization does a pretty good job with that. So we'll come back out here and you'll see different background, different dock, slightly different dock at that. And of course I can go back in to personalization. And I can change the wallpaper and of course the lock screen style. Now, much like Sense 3.0, you'll see the typical ring format here that I can change the lock screen style to my personal favorite is productivity, because whenever somebody calls or texts or email, it all shows up on one screen. You can also do things like weather, which we've seen in past versions of HTC Sense. So when I turn it back on, you can see Charlotte's going to pop up, and I can see the weather. And of course I have the shortcuts down there at the bottom as well. Wallpapers, some new stuff over here, and if you're like me, you like seeing the most recent wallpapers on these devices. You can see Beats Audio wallpapers, and of course some of these new ones that come with some of the ice cream sandwich devices. Take a look at these, for example. Let's go to a new one I haven't done in a video. Let's take a look. I like that one. Let's apply that. And you can see new wallpapers, and also you'll notice, if you're a stickler for detail like I am, you'll notice that the wallpaper kind of is translucent behind the actual notifications bar. So no longer is the notifications bar a set color. you can see the wallpaper actually behind it. So all in all, a pretty decent device, a different form factor, but fits really well into HTC's One lineup of devices. I actually, for me personally, I like the size of this one. I do miss the HD display, and of course I miss the quad-core processor. I do find it to be overall just ever so slightly smoother in day-to-day tasks. You rarely notice it, but again, you may have just seen that little carousel effect, just a tiny, tiny stutter. I didn't see that on my HTC One X unit that's packing that quad-core processor. Didn't see any lag or any sort of stutters like that. So it's a great addition to the One lineup. Hopefully we can get our hands on the One V soon and take a look at that one as well. T-Mobile customers, you should be really happy with this. This is going to be a great Android device when it comes to T-Mobile in the States, and I look forward to reviewing it and doing some T-Mobile specified tests when it comes in to PhoneDog Labs. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with the HTC One S, so keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Be sure to participate in our rankings program at PhoneDog.com/rankings. Last but not least, let me know which one you like more, the One X, the One S. Perhaps you like something else. You're waiting for the Galaxy S3 or some other device that's coming out this year, rumored to come this year. Let me know. Twitter, PhoneDog_Aaron, and on Facebook at Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks for watching. As always, we'll see you next time.